Hello and welcome to our first match with the Diamond Ruby Ada deck here. Start of the season here, so silver, all in silver. Opponent leads on Ardent Decree in their Marzul deck, so they're going to get another threshold here. So Ruby Wild, potentially a third splash maybe. We have our Fireball in our opening hand here. We already have 2 Ruby thresholds, so that's a good start. We've got our choice between Cavalry and War Priest for turn 2 play here. Hopefully we hit a couple more resources here on the draw. Definitely think we want to lead on the coin there, because ideally we want to make our first 5 resource drops here. Opponent doesn't have a play here, that's pretty good for us. They did have a Valor, which probably makes this, with this Iotachi Cavalry, it's probably going to be much, much worse in this matchup than it could be on average. Because it's his only unblockable except by Valorous Troop, so if my opponent has a Valorous Troop, this just really doesn't have a text box, it's just a 2-2. Still have Adamantine War Priest, that's reasonable though. There might have been an argument, yeah, I almost certainly should have led on the Ruby shard on 2 there, in case I want to play this Fireball on 3. Huh. Yeah, Rockslider is one of their better payoff cards for being in the Marzul deck that they are in, so I'm just going to go ahead and Decree of Banishing that, and then crack in for 2 here, I think. This allows me to push some damage on my opponent who has an already high starting life total, and it allows me to take my opponent's important threat off the table. I could be like a little greedy here and like wait for them to Valor it, but I think I want to just be resource efficient this turn. This lets me take their threat out and then set up to play a 4-drop next turn. God, no play here would be insane for us. That's really good. We're going to play this Ruby shard out before we attack, so that way in case our opponent has some kind of a Puke Troll, for instance, we would get to Fireball it before it eats our guy. I guess we wouldn't necessarily get to kill Puke Troll, because it could make itself bigger. I'm going to play this Warband Ruffian out. We have the triple Ruby threshold for this as well, so this is a 3-4 with Rage 2. They have to have a play here, right? And if it's just 1 troop, we can Decree of Banishing that and then continue punching in. So I imagine they don't have a play past this, because they didn't have a play last turn. And so they must have just drawn this, and they didn't have a 4-drop play last turn. We ideally would have drawn a Diamond resource there, so that way we could activate 8 of this turn, but we can Fireball this at least. Some kind of pump spell here. Huh. Alright, so that's going to make us pump the brakes here for a second. I'm going to go ahead and play the Gallant Duelist out, and then just pass the turn back to my opponent here. No reason to... Actually, am I okay trading this one? Yeah, I'm okay trading the Gallant Duelist for the Stinkhorn, I think. Not okay with trading my Warband Ruffian. But Gallant Duelist, yeah, go ahead. One of the 3 cards in their hand right now is a Valor from the Ardent Decree. They are not okay with that trade, so they're just going to go ahead and take it. Because this card is holding these 2 at bay. Hopefully they don't have another piece of protection. We'd be in a really good spot here if we would have hit our Diamond Threshold that turn to make Ada, but even so, we're still ahead on board here and have another piece of removal in our hand. Feed the Flames on my 2-2 as opposed to the 3-2. Interesting. Okay, yep. They played their Ironsmith Bake since they were trying to hold out to draw an Ardent Troop, but they didn't have one. Hitting that there is excellent. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Decree of Banishing, take the Stinkhorn off the table. And then I am going to go ahead and Valor my Warband Ruffian here. The reason why I'm doing this is I would like to get it out of Blazing Hammer range. It's a piece of removal that my opponent could have. Still dies to something like Boisterous Ballad or Valorous Stance, but that's fine. Wow, no trade there. It's really aggressive. I'm going to do this. Do I want to play the War Priest? Yeah, I'm just going to play this out. Get punished by something like Laskar's Vengeance here, but I don't think we should play around a rare like that. Iotachi Cavalry of their own. So they can double block this now, I suppose. So we're attacking for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 next turn. So if they want to double the Warband Ruffian, which they almost do because it's attacking for 8 on its own, right? Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and ship with the squad here. Now that our opponent's at 1, I don't think there's any reason to extend this out. We can afford to play around something obnoxious like Lasgar's Vengeance out of their hand. We got 4 lethal attackers here, so they're pretty likely dead this turn. Sure. 3 lethal attackers, 1 blocker. Opponent concedes. They showed us Crackling Clash for some reason. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and hit submit here. I didn't draft any extra revert effects, right? The Vanquish might be okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just run it back here. Draw for this game as well. Keep Boisterous Ballad on 1, play our Conscripted Troop on 2, play Spearcliff Captain on 3, we play Warband Ruffian on 4. Touch awkward that we drew another Diamond Threshold there, since we have our 1 Fireball in our hand. I guess we should just be happy we were able to cast Fireball in one of our games so far. Last time I played Fireball in a draft deck, I wasn't able to cast it in any of the games that we drew it. Wow, that's a good hit. So, opponent doesn't draw another diamond. We want to hit some resources here, but hitting diamonds like that is not what we're looking for when we have Fireball and Warband Ruffian in our hand. So they should 10 out of 10 snap off this trade unless they have a Feed the Flames in their hand. This card makes a llama every time it diligences. I think I'm okay offering this trade. Like, my resources, I could, like, wait and sit on it. But this card's going to deal us a lot of damage. Whenever they gain a charge, we take a damage. And whenever they play Ardent Troops, they gain a charge. Wow. Okay, so I'm expecting them to have some kind of removal this turn. Because if this starts diligencing, it's going to run away with the game very quickly in a way that probably Arena Regular can't even keep up with. We get even one free 2/2 out of this is just like insane in a game of limited. So it's like good and constructed. Like getting a freebie in limited is just nuts. No blocks. Yep. Holy crap. Wow, that's good. Well, I guess we want to play the Spearcliff Captain here, right? Yep. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to play the Spearcliff Captain, and then Llama Herder can exhaust one of the other troops I control to give itself +1/+1. So I'm going to go ahead and exhaust this so I can attack this through the Ayotachi Cavalry here. I'm not exhausting the Llama Herder because I want to leave the Llama back on defense against these two things. Yeah, if everything goes according to plan, we get to diligence this again next turn. Just have to not die to whatever aggressive line my opponent can take here. They're not really going to have another chance to kill us inside of combat, so they're just going to have to race it, which is going to be pretty difficult. Like, we got a lot of Llama Dama Ding Dongs here. It's fairly bold on my opponent's part to have not taken the trade when I offered it with the Arena Regular there. Okay, so they're taking this trade now, so they could just leave some damage on the table. It's a pretty risky line, just like leaving me with this llama. Another Spearcliff, huh? Yeah, I'm just gonna offer this trade here. I'm pretty sure my opponent's not gonna take it. They didn't trade it for the Llama Herder. I don't think they're gonna trade it for the Spearcliff Captain. Strange. They just wanted to get a few points of damage. Oh, they have a combat trick. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's fine. That was going to get us at some point anyways. Might as well get us there on a troop that we hadn't spent the Valor from yet. Rock Slider! That is a fantastic hit. Revert target card gets to put them off their champion power, basically. I'm going to go ahead and Valor this guy, and then crack in for 5 here with my Rage. Despite all his rage, he is still a Warband Ruffian in a cage. Ada will remind my opponent who is the queen of the mid-range in this limited format. We get to Valor this next turn, and then we attack with both of these as flight troops, so we'll have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 flight. So if we hit a Ruby threshold, we can kill them with Fireball. Even if they gain a bunch of charges here and like threaten to push a lot of damage with this Rock Slider, we can double here and then revert the Rock Slider even if they champ power it. So sitting in a pretty good spot here. Yep, that seems pretty good for us. We'll valor this pretty little lady up here, and then I think this is a pretty safe push here. We're gonna put him to 1, which leaves us with a bunch of lethal attackers next turn. Play this, then should be pretty safe with the reversion in hand. Yeah, probably should have played the diamond shard out there, but I don't think it's gonna matter here. GG's opponent. Commented on missing their double ruby still. Tough beat. Well, looks like we are 1-0 and moving on to the next one here. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, folks.